Hello and welcome to today's Silver Lining Laughter.
Hello.
So, Karen, how are you today?
I am cold, but otherwise I'm good. You look all formal and everything and warm, and I am like got my scarf on and a sweatshirt.
Well, I just finished up some other meetings for that job that pays the bills. So, yeah, I
Okay.
guess I'm a little dressed up, but it's for the show.
Oh, okay. Well, that doesn't tell me that. What's that tell everybody about me? That I'm not going to dress up for the show?
No, that's not what it tells them. It says for this particular show, for this first question right out of the gate, I am
Oh,
dressed like a
business.
psychiatrist and you are sitting
Okay.
on the couch.
And
And
should I
this
get a box of tissues?
You might. You have way that'll work. So
Okay.
I'm going to ask you this question.
Okay.
It's going to prompt, do we even get to topic 2 of today's show, or will
Okay.
it take the entire show?
Okay.
Now, before I say this, I don't want any backlash from you or any of the listeners about this question because I mean no disrespect whatsoever when I ask this question.
Okay.
All right. So, one of everyone's favorite friends, Matthew Perry, died last weekend.
Abruptly Saturday.
It's only been a few days.
Yep.
It has affected a lot of people. I've seen a
It's
lot of posts. I love the guy.
affected me.
So I'm not
Yep.
asking this question because I don't love the guy. However,
Okay.
I have noticed from a Facebook follower, a friend of yours, it has really deeply impacted you. And I'm trying to figure out why.
Um, it has impacted me because I think that the time that Friends was on was a very prominent time in my life where I was struggling with depression and friends and um, just feeling like I fit in somewhere. And when I found out, I was out of town this weekend at in Savannah with a friend of mine. We went to the Matt Rife comedy show and hung out for a couple days. But um, when we got out of the show, my girlfriend had sent me a text that said Matthew Perry died, and I was upset. And I think it's because those it's so normally people's deaths, especially celebrities, don't affect me at all. Like, yeah, it's sad, or yeah, but for some reason, Matthew Perry just really hit me hard, and I think it's because of the time that I was watched it was it was my escape, and it's what I wanted in life was those good friends that were there for you all the time, and um, it was just so unexpected. Um, and I know he struggled with alcoholism and drugs, and for him to supposedly drown, I it's a horrible, like, you expect someone who's an alcoholic who's addicted to drugs to die of something like that, but for a guy to struggle as much as he did and provide so much joy and happiness and help to people, because he helped so many alcoholics and he helped so many people on drugs, and he opened his house into a home, for addicts. um it just kind of sucks. It's like ironic that he got his life in order and he was clean, and he drowned. Like, I think it's sad all the way around, and I think that cohesiveness with the Friends episodes, um it really hit me hard. Robin Williams didn't hit me that hard. Nobody has hit me that hard. But Matthew Perry really just, and he was only 54.
Yeah. Yeah. I looked, he's like almost exactly my age, like 6 days older. He was 6 days
Yes.
older.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
So I just think I think it's sad. You know, the friendship that he had with the other castmates on Friends and Jennifer Aniston and everybody, it's just I was shocked. And there's so many things, so many episodes of Friends that, you know, the one where Chandler says goodbye and, you know, all this stuff, the one
Yeah.
where Chandler wasn't there. And it's like foreshadowing in the most obscure sense. It was just, it just hit me hard for some reason. I don't know why. I think it's just 54 years old. I mean, granted, my dad died when he was 42, but that was cancer. And that was like, okay, there's no help. But I mean, for him to get his life so cleared up and, you know, to talk about it and to help people, and I just hit me hard.
Yeah. I thought it did. I mean, I was really sad about it. And I have learned a lot about him, unfortunately, since his passing, because
Right,
I knew him from Friends. I knew a little
right,
bit about him. I knew he struggled with addiction, but I didn't know to the extent he had struggled. And I
right.
didn't know how much he helped other people. Like I had
Yep,
no idea about all that. And then when you do hear it,
yep,
it is so sad because you do think that he had beat those demons and those struggles and
yep.
then still ended up in the place where he was headed if he didn't clean his life up. It's
Right,
like, and
right,
I mean, drowning in a hot tub. I, I mean, I guess we don't know yet. Like if
right.
there was
Because the
a heart attack,
toxology reports,
yeah.
right? The toxology reports won't come out for another 2 or 3 months, and you know, I hope that it is. You know, I don't know what I hope. I mean, I don't want it to be because he was drugged up or drunk or anything. You know, maybe he slipped and fell because he did just finish pickleball, and I know that going from one extreme to the other in a hot tub can be dangerous. Um, I just hope it was a clean, unfortunate accident.
So there's a lot of controversy around like the autopsy and does the public have the right to know or not? And I guess I feel that although I would like to know, because inquiring minds want to know, it would
Right,
be up to what his family would decide that they would want to release. But how
right.
do you feel on that topic?
I would totally support the fact that the public never knows. Uh, it, it's it's the guy's life. It's the family's right. You know, let's not make it any. It's unfortunate that it happened in the first place. So why make it any worse?
Right.
You know, if it's something, you know, it could go either way though, because if this family says we don't want to release the toxology reports, you know, and the autopsy, then everybody's going to say, oh, he was probably drunk or he was probably on, you know, opioids or he was probably doing this so there's going to be speculation either way. Um, Personally, if I was the family, I don't care what the toxology reports would say. I would just say, you know what? It was just an accidental drowning and leave it at that because nobody deserves to, it's no one's business. He was a celebrity. He was a good person. I, it's no one's business. If they came out and said, we're not telling you, I would totally support it. It's none of our business.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree, but it is funny how when actors and actresses they come into your house, especially like Friends, and
Oh yeah,
especially anyone around our age, right?
yeah,
So when they come in, there is some you think you're familiar with them, you think you're
yeah,
one of the cast of Friends, or you think
right,
like you know that person on a level, on a personal level, not just as
right,
somebody that is playing a part in a show that may or
right,
may not act anything like that character. So I see why people want to know, but I certainly feel that
Right.
nobody really has the right to know unless
Right.
it's something his family chooses to share.
I also think that the one of the reasons that it upset me so badly is because um, my best friend Michelle, um, we have been watching Friends together since it started. I mean, when she goes to sleep at night, she watches Friends reruns to put her to sleep. We have bought each other games of Friends trivia, and we will go on adventure days or adventure weekends, and we'll take these trivia games, and we will go through every single card, and we know every answer. Like it
Oh,
doesn't.
wow.
You could tell us, what was Joey's father's, occupation? Well, he's a plumber. So like we have puzzles of Friends. My sister-in-law bought me a Legos Friends coffee house. So during COVID, I put together the coffee house, the Central Perk. Um, I know, I know a lot about Friends and the episodes, and I could quote them. And I think that's why I also took it a little bit more personally, is because it just brought me and my best friend closer. And everybody just knows how much I love it. And it just breaks my heart that those six people could lose someone like that. And it hits home because I have my party of five,
Right.
and it hits home. So it was sad.
Yeah. Oh, definitely said.
Could it be any sadder? See, so
Yeah.
that's a
And I
cheesy
know we
thing
weren't
right
supposed to do another sad episode, but I just really feel like
there.
talking about this today. And I
Yeah.
do find it interesting that as soon as I asked the question, and the first other celebrity that you mentioned was Robin Williams,
Yeah.
because that one bothered me, not any worse than Matthew Perry, but it
Right.
definitely bothered me because it's always, when you think of him, you think of happy laughter comedian,
Right.
and who knew that he was suffering from depression. And I never really realized the amount of comedians that actually have depression.
Yeah.
And so I spent some time trying to think about that and how the tie goes together. And is there a tie? And does the comedy come from either trying to make other
Right.
people feel good because they feel so bad, or is there something in there that also trying to pick them up?
There's a lot of people who say I deal with depression by laughter. Tons of people. Like if they, instead of getting stressed out, they make a joke, and I've been known to do it. I've covered up my depression with jokes and laughter. And um, Robin Williams did not, like, I couldn't figure out why so many people were so upset. I get it. Don't hate me. Don't, I mean, you can comment, but it wasn't as much of an issue for me with Robin Williams because I didn't have as much connection with that celebrity as I do with Matthew Perry. So I couldn't figure it out. And I was actually shocked, like really shocked, that I was as upset as I was with Matthew Perry.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the comedians, laughter is the best medicine. And if they're depressed, then that's how they deal with stress and you know situations that are unpleasant, is they just laugh it off.
Yeah, definitely sad. Um, but I don't know what's for us after we die, right?
Right.
No, I would like to say I 100% believe in heaven and hell, and and all that stuff. So I don't know what's beyond this life, but I do know that those types of issues do not exist there.
Right.
Like
Yep.
mental health struggles, all that
Right.
stuff is left here in the physical world. When we continue, we do not bring those struggles with us.
That's what I would hope. Is when I die, I just want to see all my pets and my dad and my grandmother and my grandfather and my aunt. I just, or maybe I'm just worm food. Who knows?
No, I can't. I can go with a lot of different directions on what happens after you die. Worm food, your body might end up that, but I have to think that there's something beyond here in the physical.
Something more.
I do. I feel that there is.
Right.
I can't sit here and tell you 100%
Right.
guarantee
No,
that
nobody
you sign
can.
a contract, but
Nobody
I
can.
I definitely feel like there's something else and it's better.
One can hope.
Yep. All right. Well, yeah, the one question did it pretty much for the day.
That's it.
So to
Rest
heck
in,
with these
rest
notes,
in
I'll save
peace.
those
Yeah.
for next week. But
Rest in peace, Matthew Perry. What
yes.
a great guy.
Yeah. So I guess we will dedicate this episode to Matthew Perry.
Yep.
And is it appropriate for us to answer a few little off the top questions here?
Sure. Do off the
I think
top.
he would
Yeah.
want us to.
I think he would want to.
Say go for it.
Yep.
He'd want us to be sitting in our recliners when we do this. Do these sections. All right. Do you kill bugs you find inside your house or do you take them outside?
Depends on what kind of bugs they are. If they're roaches, they're dead. And if they're spiders or ladybugs or it just depends on what kind of bugs they are.
You know, that's a very good answer. And it is true because I just could not squash a ladybug. How
Oh
could
no,
anybody?
Who could any? Yeah,
It's
if you squash a
children, her house
ladybug,
is on fire.
yeah, and the children's are home alone, so
Yeah, so it does, it kind of, that's a good answer.
Yep.
Do you prefer social time or alone time?
Also depends because I'm an extrovert, but I also like my therapist actually said this because she's an introvert, and she said, and I think my girlfriend said it too. You know, when introverts go out and do a party or a gathering or a get together or whatever they do, they come home to recharge. And I go out to recharge and then I come home to just chill out. So I am an extrovert, but I do like my alone time very much so.
Yeah, I'm kind of split on that too.
Yeah.
I think I like, and I believe it's changed throughout the years because I like more alone time with, I still like
agree.
social time. So I'm either an introverted extrovert or an extroverted introvert. And if I ever use introvert in anything that remotely relates to myself, people don't believe me.
Right. And I believe that because you are very much, you and I both. And here's the thing, I think I agree with you. We have changed. It has changed since we've gotten older because you and I used to be extroverts big time. Like we were always out doing something. And now it's like, I like to be home and watch a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do think it changes. Okay. Here's another one that's probably going to be split, but let's just see what you say. It's the last one. Are you more of a thinker or a doer?
Doer. See, I didn't even think about that.
Okay, maybe I'm the only one that's a split here. Karen's a doer. I'm
a doer.
But I cannot stand. This is a personality trait that makes me want to commit murder. I cannot stand when somebody is only a thinker. Like, what the hell good does that do anybody? You just think. You could solve world hunger, but you're not going to do shit about it. You're just going to sit around and think.
No,
So
I'm a doer.
I like to do a little bit of thinking and a lot of doing, or a lot of thinking and a little doing. No, probably a lot of doing. But I've got, if I think of something, eventually I got to take action, or it's like I feel like I'm stuck.
Right. I'm a doer, and then I'm like, there probably is a better way to do this, but oh well, I didn't think about it.
Yeah, I
I'm
can
a
see that.
doer. Yeah. I'm very spontaneous. I like to do spontaneous things, and
Yeah, you are really spontaneous, and you're really good with off the cuff thinking. Like if you've got to give a speech, this is not one of my questions. I'm throwing it out there. If you've got to give a speech or stand up and talk about something, do you prepare or do you just get up and wing it?
um most of the time I wing it. Like it's funny that you asked, and maybe we take this into the next subject, the next podcast, but I was just in Boston a couple weeks ago, and they asked me, it was for an executive meeting, and we were all together, and they asked me to do a presentation, and then it kind of went to the wayside, and I didn't hear anything else about it. Well, then we get to the meeting, and my boss is like, "Oh, and Karen's going to do a presentation on blah blah blah," and I'm like, "Oh yeah," and so I totally winged it, totally 100% winged it, and then afterwards, I got several compliments about how good it was.
I believe that. I believe that because that's like you never know what we're going to talk about. And I
No,
almost wonder if it would mess things up. Like sometimes I would like a little input, like, what do you want to talk about? Because like
right.
I got to come up with a topic. But then I'm wondering, would you be as good prepared as you are off the cuff? I would.
Probably not, because I think if I was prepared, or if I knew the topics that we were talking about, it wouldn't be as authentic, and it wouldn't be as flowing. I think I
Yeah.
would be, more like reading. There's some people who do presentations, and they do slide presentations, and no one wants that. No one wants, an hour of slide presentations. Get in the act, be authentic, be real, be down to earth. So I think if I had time to prepare for things, I think that's why this works so well, is because I don't want you to tell me the topics. Now, you may ask me during the week, hey, what has gone on this week? And then I'll give you, oh, well, I traveled with my boss, and oh my gosh, this happened and this happened and this happened. And I went to get a mammogram, and I went to the LO. But then you just come up with the topics. And I think that makes it flow easier for us.
Yeah, and sometimes I just pull the topics right off from following you on Facebook because I'm curious about things that I was like, I could ask her about this, but I'll just wait and ask her on the show.
Right.
Yeah, and I've noticed like with presentations, I have a happy medium. Like I don't think I'm quite as off the cuff as you. I like a little bit of a rough outline, but I can take that outline as a few key points or words
Right.
and then fill it
Right.
all in off the cuff. Like what I don't like is when people want to sit in a conference room and like if you're going to give a meeting or you're going to do a big sales pitch or something and
Right.
you want to review the parts and have a dry run, and that's going to mess me up because that's going to start making me nervous and all that stuff.
Yes.
Like then by the time it's time to do the pitch, I'm like,
Right.
it just, I don't
Yeah.
like it. I just give me an outline and let me go, leave me alone, and
No.
I promise to do
No.
it.
I'm off the cuff.
All right, well, I guess I'm going to give another shout out and RIP to Matthew Perry.
Yeah. And if you have any questions, have any comments, if you want to just, say something about Matthew Perry, or how friends got you through, or if you're an addict and how Matthew Perry, kind of shed light on you, or if you want to follow me on Facebook, are you on
Wait a
Facebook?
minute.
Or
Now there's might be an off the cuff mistake. Did you mean Matthew Perry shining light on you?
yeah, if Matthew Perry shined a light on you.
Oh, in a good way. I thought you meant like, oh, we got an alcoholic.
No.
I thought you meant.
No.
I thought like Matthew Perry's like out, like shining the light. Whoop. We got an alcoholic. Hold on.
No. Oh my gosh. No. If you want to
Can't make
follow
a
us on
mistake.
Facebook, follow us, ask questions, do whatever, comment, tell us what we can do better, tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like. We probably won't change anything anyways,
Oh,
but
we definitely not changing the name again. Sorry.
no.
Sorry about that, folks. Silver lining laughter forever.
Yep. Amen.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right.
We'll see everybody next time.
Thank you. Bye.
That's a wrap.